It's been 25 years since the film Bhaji on the Beach, which looked at the challenges facing British Asian women, such as arranged marriage, divorce and sexism, and many more. And now we have Samosas at the Seaside. It's a modern-day look at a group of Asian women who travel to the seaside with their picnic. Well, the presenter and director Yasmeen Khan, she joins me now. Hello to you. Yasmeen, we're going to have a quick look and then have a chat.
Here we are at Portsmouth and Southsea, which is a working town. It's got a real mix of holiday makers, a beach, there's a fun fair just down the road, but we've also got the industrial dockyards, and there's children around, there are boats going up and down, and we've done it properly. The older ladies are sitting with the shade. We've got a fine picnic going on, and it's a real mixture. It's a fusion, I believe is the correct phrase. We've got samosas, but we've also got salad and sandwiches. So you know the east is meeting the west right here on the beach in Southsea.
Ladies, cheers.
Cheers.
Happy days. Happy days, summer holidays.
Friendship.
Who's having the samosa? New friendship. Brilliant memories.
You're going to wait silent.
Bhaji on the beach too.
Well, Yasmeen, that looks delicious for sure. So how has society changed in the last 25 years then? What did you discover?
Well, it was really interesting because I wanted to do this because often you don't get to hear about Asian women and particularly older women. So we thought a trip to the seaside was the way to do it. And what was fantastic is these group of women, they were mums and daughters, but before the day trip, they'd never met one another before. And what came out was really interesting. Some things have changed a lot, like the ability to make their own choices, and certainly the younger generation is doing that, but some things they still felt hampered by, not so much in themselves but by what other people might say. So the whole community thing.
And give us an example of that.
So we had one of the women who is fantastic, you can see in the photo. She was from a tea plantation family and was married off at 16, arrived in the East End of London in the 60s, didn't know anything, was married and decided to fit in by wearing miniskirts and doing the whole swinging 60s thing. Her and her husband became members of the Playboy Club in the West End, which is just the kind of thing you don't get to hear. But her daughter was saying that, you know, even though mum was like that, she still felt that she was having to rebel, so having to go against the norm. And to an extent, they still feel like that because there is a concern sometimes, although they're trying to get rid of it, is what are people going to say? What are the other people in the community going to say? But it's starting to ebb away. Yeah.
And when you say it's starting to ebb away, is it a slow process?
I think it's really slow. Change is really slow.
And I wonder, if you did this in another 25 years, how do you think that it would change?
I think some of the issues that came up, like arranged marriage and like worrying what other people might say, I think they would have gone a lot.
Oh, completely?
Yeah, because people are learning to be not so concerned, because when you first arrive as immigrants, you're relying on one another in that community to help each other, and anyone who goes against it is sort of seen as a slight on all of you. Whereas now people are kind of more ingrained, they've got more their own kind of needs and wants that have gone beyond just survival, which is what happens when you first emigrate to a country, and they're more willing to be themselves.
What do you think is the biggest hurdle then?
That's an interesting one, aside from the bun fight for the samosas on the beach, because that was a minor hurdle on the day. I think it's just being heard. Because I think as an Asian woman, I have this, what I call the triple threat. You're thought of as repressed, suppressed and depressed. And actually breaking out from that and saying, no, we're not like that. It's not like you see in the media, is one of the biggest hurdles. So it's actually an external one, not an internal one.
And really it's been the year for women, not just Asian women, but women in general. We've been empowered. How's that affected your community, do you think? Well,
I think what was interesting, again, in talking to this group of women is that they already are. They might have concerns about what people might say, but looking at the lives they've led, I mean, we've got someone who was a councillor, someone who's been awarded the Freedom of the City of London, someone who's done endless voluntary work, people are in big corporate jobs. So, you know, things have changed. I hope the future's bright.
Well, Yasmeen, apart from anything else, it looks like great fun.
It was.
And that's the thing, you had a giggle there.
Yeah,
and some
really
tasty food. That's more than what you can ask for, isn't it? Well, thank you so much. That's Yasmeen there. And Samosas at the Seaside, if you fancy that one, it is on BBC Radio 4 at 11 AM on Monday, October the 8th, so it's tomorrow.
Yep.
OK?